Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brittany of BrittanyJJones.com. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. I hope that you will like what you see and subscribe below for more. Welcome to the first video of 2023. I am so excited to kick YouTube off strong, uploading at least once a week, and hopefully with my schedule, I can bump that up throughout the year to 2, maybe even 3 videos a week. First video of the year, I figured this was the perfect time to share my top 5 most used sewing tools every time I'm creating the tools that I'm always reaching for and using. So that is what this video will be about. Let's get started. Before we jump in, please know that I have not purchased all these tools at once. I've been sewing for, oh my gosh, this will be 10 years in February that I've been sewing. I am self-taught for those of you that are new. So I've accumulated a lot of things over the years. I don't want you all to think that you need to go out and purchase all of these right now, because you do not. Okay, I have a lot. Like I said, I've been sewing for 10 years now. So don't think that you need to go out and purchase these. Also, don't think that you have to get them just because I'm saying this is what I use. You may use something totally different. You may also have some top 5 favorites, which I really encourage you to leave them down in the comment section. That'd be fantastic for new beginners that are just getting into sewing. They can kind of scroll the comment sections and just kind of see what other people use every time they're sewing. So I just wanted to get that out. It's kind of like a disclaimer. But yeah, let's get started. The first thing that I use every single time when I'm sewing is some cutting tools. Now, depending on the project, I'm either using some shears or I'm using a rotary cutter with the mat. I am more likely to grab the rotary cutter. I find cutting with the rotary cutter much more easier. I get nice, clean, even cuts. And I feel like it's a lot faster as well. So I do prefer a rotary cutter over shears, but depending on the project, I may reach for these too. Sometimes with snips, when it's time to do little snips into the notches, I'll grab my shear. So again, I'm using one or the other. I'm using one of these cutting tools. I will say though, these are my fabric cutting tools. This one right here is for paper. So once my blades go dull, I do keep them and I just, put them on here and just use them for cutting paper. So I don't throw away the blades, not unless they're just really done. But once they're dull here, I put them on here and I continue to use them for cutting paper. I do not mix the two, so I don't mix fabric and paper because I don't want to dull out my good shears and good blades fast. In addition to the cutting tools, I do have a few pairs of snips here. One of them I keep at the sewing machine, the other one I keep at the serger, because even though the machines are side by side, I like them to have their own. And I also keep another one at my iron. So I have 3 and I just keep them, kind of spread out. That way I know that I have one at each place. So it could be a little excessive. You only need 1, let's be honest. I don't need 3. I've collected them over the years. I told you all that. So you don't need 3. Please don't go out and buy 3. You don't even need 1. You can use your main scissors if you have them. But I do find these nice and convenient to have, especially when you have little tiny threads and you don't want to use your big scissors. These are great. So in addition to the shears and rotary cutter, I'm always using my snips when I'm sewing. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2 in my list of top 5 things that I use every single time when I am sewing, that goes to seam rippers. Listen, go ahead and buy an assortment of them, okay? You're gonna need them. And I also have these at the sewing machine, the ironing board, and at the serger. I have them all over. Honestly, I just go in and I try to buy maybe 2 or 3 at one time because these dull out too. I want them to stay as sharp as possible. So I have a couple of seam rippers. Like if you sew, you're gonna make some mistakes. The mistakes are learning moments, but just know that they're gonna happen, okay? So it's best to just have some tools to help you get through, fix it, and continue on with your project. I've had these for a while now. I don't even know where the tops are. This is kind of dangerous to just be, but yeah, they do come with tops. But yeah, I have several. This isn't even all of them. Now, I know for me, it's just something I have to have. I can't speak for everyone, okay? You all may be super sewers, okay? Y'all don't make no mistakes. I don't know. If that's you, amazing. Pat yourself on your back. But for me, I keep them by. So yeah, the second thing that I have and use every single time when I'm sewing are seam rippers. The third thing in my top 5 list that I use every single time when I am sewing are pattern weights. I love sewing with patterns, and I'm pretty sure even when you are drafting your own pattern or copying a pattern or a garment, you still need some kind of weights onto the tissue paper or the garment that you're tracing. These are what I use every single time. These are some washers. I got these at my local Lowe's. I first learned about these when I first started sewing 10 years ago, and they are still trusty, dusty, handy, my favorite. I learned about these from Mimi in one of her old videos when she shared about the washers. So these are just large washers. I love these for pattern weights, but you can use honestly whatever you want. You don't have to go out and buy this. It's not something that you need. If you have a can of soup, or sometimes I even use this large candle. Like, I use what you have, okay? Don't go out buying a whole bunch of stuff that you may not even need, okay? Because it's a lot of things on the shelves right now, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because it's a lot. It's overwhelming. Even for me, I go in there and I'm like, I go in there for one thing, but I'm like, ooh, but you don't need it. Chances of you needing it is very low. So that's another reason what prompted me to go, you know what, let me make a quick video sharing top 5 things that I use every single time. So again, number 3 are my pattern weights. I'm trying not to get too close. If I get too close, I turn into scary Brittany. Spooky. So I'm trying to stay back, but I'm also trying to have good lighting. It's a lot happening right here. Number 4 in my top 5 list of things that I use every single time when I'm sewing, marking tools. I mean, y'all knew this was coming, right? Again, I have several because I've been sewing for a while. You do not need all of these, but I will say though, it's good to have more than one. I have this common, very popular marking tool is air and water soluble and water soluble ink. This doesn't work for all fabrics. I know for a fact we have a fabric in stock right now at Melanated Fabrics, our baby Noil. If you use this pen on that fabric, it's going to stay on that fabric. So this is not, you know, end all be all for marking tools. I do recommend that you kind of just play around, test out some tools to see what works best for the fabric that you are using. So I do have a chalk roller here. I believe this is from Clover. It is, and with this Clover chalk roller, they have reusable chalk. So you can still keep the same like roller and just refill the chalk when that goes out. So I do have this. I love using it. I also have Taylor's chalk. It's not something I grab all the time, but I do have it. And these right here are heat erasable pens, and they also erase. So these are what I use most. I have these in all types of color, from red to purple to blue. I have it in black. I have the chalk. I have the marker. Just get an assortment. I do recommend, I won't say go out and buy it. Don't buy it all right now. Okay. Don't do that. Do not do that. But if you have one already, then definitely, you know, Google and research what you think would be another good option, because these are Frixion. I can never say Frixion. I put it up here. I have these pens and I love them. So again, just kind of play around with that. I do think it's important to have more than one of these. You can have one snippers, but you need more than one marking tool, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay. So again, that's number 4. The last thing that I use absolutely every single time when I am sewing is pens. Depending on the project, I'm either using pens or I'm using clips. These are the little, can y'all see the clips? Depending on the project, I'm using either or, but please believe I am using one or the other. I just made a faux twist front skirt, so I couldn't use the pens. That was the perfect time for me to grab these little, what are they called? Binding clips. There's another term for it. It's just escaping my mind right now. But these are the clips. You can usually find them in the quilting section of stores. But I love those. I love my pens. You just need them, okay? You just need them. There are some seams in certain projects, if you're making a tote, where you may not need pins. You can just hold it together and sew it. But I do recommend having some pins. I actually have different types of pins, like some really lightweight pins for delicate fabrics. But I most of the time use these yellow ball pins. I think these are like quilting. I can't remember. I think these are just the quilting yellow ball pins. Those are the ones that I use most of the time. So yeah, those are my top 5 things that I use every single time when I'm sewing. I know some of you may be thinking, what about a measuring tape? Fantastic tool to have. I have several of them, but I don't use it every single time when I'm sewing. Like if I'm making a top and I already know my bust measurement, there's no need to pull it out and measure myself again. But if I'm making something new, absolutely. Or if I know that I'm maybe up or down 10 pounds or so, I'll measure myself again. But for the most part, I don't use it every single time that I'm sewing. I'm looking over here at like some tools. Some of you may be thinking rulers. Do you use rulers? No, I don't use rulers every time that I sew. I have a lot of them, but I don't use them. Even a seam gauge, I don't use that every single time that I sew. Now, when I'm doing a 5/8 of an inch narrow hem, I just stitch along my 5/8 of an inch line and I fold it up and press it. So I have all those awesome tools. I just don't use them every single time. But I would love to know what tools that you use every single time when you are sewing. Please let me know down in the comment section. Well, that is all for the video. Thank you all so much for taking time to watch it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Turn on your notifications so you know when the next video goes live. I do want to say Happy New Year to you all. I wish you all nothing but love, joy, and peace in 2023. All right, y'all. Blessings. Bye. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to check out these 2 playlists here if you are interested in more sewing content. Check my blog out at BrittanyJJones.com and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you know when the next video goes live. Until next time, blessings, bye.